Saffron, scientifically known as Crocus sativus, is far more than just a spice that turns rice golden yellow. This precious ingredient comes from the dried stigmas of a delicate purple crocus flower, and it has captivated humanity for thousands of years. Its value isn't only because it's incredibly rare. It takes roughly 150,000 flowers to produce just 1 kilogram, but because of its incredible versatility, a culinary superstar, a powerful healing agent, and a cultural symbol of luxury and purity. Subscribe and comment for more videos. Thanks for helping us. In today's world, where modern medicine usually favors patented synthetic drugs, saffron stands out as a living bridge between ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science. It offers real benefits for mental health, inflammation, oxidative stress, and more, often without the harsh side effects that come with many pharmaceutical options. Most likely originating in the region we now call Iran, saffron has been cultivated across Mediterranean and Asian climates for over 4,000 years. Its name comes from the Arabic word za'faran, meaning yellow, which perfectly describes the brilliant golden hue it gives to food, fabrics, and even medicines. Today, Iran produces more than 90% of the world's saffron, followed by Spain, Greece, India, and smaller amounts from Afghanistan and other places. Because it's so scarce and expensive, saffron has always been one of the most frequently adulterated spices in history, a problem we'll talk about later. In this video, we're going to dive deep: its ancient history, how it's grown today, its traditional and modern medicinal uses, direct comparisons with popular drugs, culinary traditions, economic reality, cultural symbolism, safety information, and why this flower might be making a serious comeback. Everything here is grounded in historical records and the latest scientific understanding as of 2026. Saffron isn't merely a luxury item, it's living proof that nature can deliver holistic solutions in ways synthetic chemistry still struggles to match. Its key active compounds, crocin, crocetin, picrocrocin, and safranal, interact with the human body through multiple pathways at once. Thousands of years ago, people used it to treat melancholy, infections, pain, and even plague symptoms. Today, researchers are seriously studying its effects on clinical depression, chronic inflammation, neurodegenerative diseases, and more, conditions that affect hundreds of millions of people worldwide. The story of saffron goes back at least 5,000 years, woven into myths, trade routes, royal courts, and the birth of organized medicine. In ancient Mesopotamian and Akkadian cultures, it was already being used as a brilliant dye for wall paintings and royal garments, a sign of divine favor and immense wealth. The Bible mentions saffron in the Song of Songs as one of the finest perfumes. Around 1550 BC in ancient Egypt, the famous Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest surviving medical documents, lists saffron as a treatment for stomach pain and kidney disorders, complete with specific preparation instructions and dosages. This wasn't guesswork. It was systematic medicine. The ancient Greeks took saffron to another level. Hippocrates, often called the father of Western medicine, prescribed it for coughs, colds, insomnia, and digestive complaints. Galen, whose writings shaped European medicine for more than 1,000 years, recommended saffron to reduce inflammation and lift the mood. Greek mythology even ties saffron to the gods. Some stories say the god Hermes was born in a saffron field, and its sunrise color linked it to Eos, goddess of the dawn. The Romans loved it too. They infused it in luxurious baths, used it as an aphrodisiac, and legend says Emperor Nero had streets sprinkled with saffron when he made ceremonial entrances. During the Middle Ages, saffron truly thrived in the Islamic Golden Age. Around 1025 AD, the Persian physician Avicenna included detailed entries on saffron in his monumental Canon of Medicine, describing its use for depression, pain relief, respiratory conditions, and as a heart tonic. That book became the standard medical textbook in both the Islamic world and Europe well into the 1600s. In medieval European monasteries, places like St. Gall in Switzerland, Saffron was grown in carefully planned herb gardens, as shown in surviving 9th-century architectural drawings. When the Black Death swept across Europe in the 14th century, demand for saffron skyrocketed because people believed it could ease fever, swelling, and unbearable pain. They weren't completely wrong. Its anti-inflammatory and immune-modulating properties would have provided genuine symptomatic relief. In 1374, one famous shipment worth an enormous fortune, millions in today's money, was hijacked on its way to Basel, Switzerland. The theft sparked a 14-week armed conflict remembered today as the Saffron War. That's how valuable people considered this flower. Across Asia, the story is just as rich. Chinese medical texts dating back to the 3rd century BC mention saffron for improving memory and treating early forms of dementia. In India's Ayurvedic tradition, it has been used for thousands of years to balance the 3 doshas, enhance cognitive function, boost libido, and calm anxiety. The Silk Road turned saffron into one of the most traded luxury goods, linking empires from China to Rome. In the modern era, saffron gradually shifted from being a primary medicine to mostly a high-end culinary garnish, overshadowed by patentable pharmaceutical alternatives. Yet its cultivation has never stopped. The same painstaking hand-harvesting method is still practiced today in Iran's Khorasan region and other traditional areas. And now, in the 21st century, there's a quiet revival. Clinical trials are confirming many of the ancient claims, and interest in natural, multi-target therapeutics is growing fast. Growing saffron is an art form that demands incredible patience and attention to detail, which is exactly why it costs so much. The plant thrives in temperate climates with cold winters and hot, dry summers. Iran dominates production with about 94% of the global supply, roughly 418 metric tons per year, from over 121,000 hectares. India, Greece, Afghanistan, Spain, and a few other countries share the rest. Saffron is propagated from corms, bulb-like structures, planted in late summer or early autumn. They prefer well-drained, sandy, loamy soils with a neutral to slightly alkaline pH. Flowering happens in the fall and lasts only 2 to 3 weeks. Each delicate purple flower opens at dawn and must be picked by hand the same morning before it wilts. From every single flower, harvesters carefully pluck the 3 bright red stigmas. Those are the only part that becomes saffron. After drying, it takes about 75,000, 80,000 flowers to yield just 1 pound, 450 grams, of dried saffron threads. Average yields are 3–4 kilograms per hectare, though some optimized farms in Italy reach up to 8 kilos per hectare. Drying is critical. The stigmas are spread out and dried at controlled low temperatures to preserve the active compounds. Economically, it's one of the highest value crops per acre. In good years, small family farms in the United States can gross over $100,000 per acre, but the labor is intense. Everything is done by hand. Recent innovations like greenhouse cultivation and even lab-based plant cell culture are starting to appear, which could eventually reduce seasonal and geopolitical risks. What makes saffron so powerful is its complex chemistry. Scientists have identified more than 150 compounds, but 4 stand out: crocin, crocetin, picrocrocin, and safranal. Crocin is the carotenoid glycoside responsible for the intense red color. It's a potent antioxidant that can cross the blood-brain barrier, directly reducing oxidative stress inside brain cells. One reason saffron shows promise in neurodegenerative conditions. Crocetin is the aglycone form of crocin. It selectively inhibits the COX-2 enzyme, the main target of ibuprofen and other NSAIDs, without strongly affecting COX-1, which protects the stomach lining. That means strong anti-inflammatory action with far less risk of ulcers or gastrointestinal bleeding. Picrocrocin gives saffron its characteristic bitter taste. Safranal, the main volatile compound, is what creates the unique hay-honey aroma. Safranal also interacts with GABA receptors in the brain, contributing to calming, anxiolytic effects. These compounds don't work in isolation, they create synergy. A single dose of real saffron delivers multiple active molecules hitting several pathways at once, something most single-compound drugs can't replicate. Regional differences exist too. Iranian saffron tends to be richer in safranal, while Spanish La Mancha saffron often has higher crocin levels. Since the early 2000s, pharmaceutical companies have filed numerous patents attempting to create synthetic analogs of crocin and crocetin. The goal isn't usually to promote natural saffron, it's to develop patentable versions they can sell at much higher margins. In Ayurveda, saffron is considered a sattvic substance that promotes clarity, compassion, and mental balance. It's used to pacify all three doshas, improve memory, support reproductive health, and calm nervous system disorders. Practitioners often prepare it as a warm milk infusion with cardamom and honey for anxiety and insomnia. Traditional Chinese medicine classifies saffron as sweet and cooling. Ancient texts recommend it to clear liver heat, move stagnant blood, and treat racing pulse, emotional stress, and early memory decline. In Unani, Greco-Islamic medicine, Avicenna described saffron in detail as a cardiac tonic, antidepressant, analgesic, and respiratory aid. It was frequently prescribed for melancholy, infections, and as an aphrodisiac. All three systems emphasize saffron's holistic nature, improving mood, reducing pain, supporting digestion, and acting as a gentle rejuvenative, in sharp contrast to the reductionist one-target, one-drug approach common in Western pharmacology. Over the past 2 decades, dozens of randomized controlled trials have investigated saffron. The strongest evidence is for mild to moderate depression. A landmark 2014 meta-analysis from Tehran University combined 5 high-quality, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies and found that 30 mg per day of saffron extract was significantly more effective than placebo, and roughly comparable in effect size to standard antidepressant medications. Importantly, the side effect profile was dramatically better. A 2019 Australian trial gave 128 adults with mild to moderate depression either 28 mg of standardized saffron extract or placebo for 8 weeks. The saffron group showed clear improvements in mood scores, anxiety, and stress levels, with virtually no serious adverse events reported. Mechanistically, safranal and crocin appear to inhibit serotonin reuptake, similar to SSRIs, while also reducing oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain, a multi-target action that may explain the gentler profile. For inflammation, crocetin's selective COX-2 inhibition delivers pain relief and reduced swelling without the stomach damage linked to NSAIDs. Researchers estimate that NSAID-related gastrointestinal complications send over 100,000 Americans to hospitals every year. Saffron offers a potential alternative pathway. Other promising areas include neuroprotection, antioxidant effects throughout the body, potential anti-cancer properties in cell studies, and even benefits for metabolic syndrome and eye health. Let's be direct. Many blockbuster drugs target the exact same pathways saffron modulates, but in an isolated patentable form. Common SSRIs block serotonin reuptake to treat depression. Meta-analyses show saffron achieves similar symptom reduction in mild to moderate cases, but with far fewer reports of sexual dysfunction, weight gain, emotional blunting, or the increased suicide risk seen in some younger patients on SSRIs. For pain and inflammation, NSAIDs like ibuprofen and naproxen block both COX-1 and COX-2. That gives fast relief, but erodes the stomach lining over time. Crocetin targets COX-2 more selectively, offering comparable anti-inflammatory benefits with almost none of the gastrointestinal risk. Cost comparison is stark. A month's supply of quality saffron extract usually runs $15 to $30. Many brand-name SSRIs or NSAIDs cost $5,400 per month depending on insurance. Multiply that across tens of millions of prescriptions, and you see why a non-patentable flower rarely makes it into mainstream medical guidelines. First, sourcing real saffron is critical because adulteration is widespread. Buy whole threads, never pre-ground powder, which is almost impossible to verify. Look for deep crimson threads with a small orange-yellow style attached at the base. Uniform bright red with no variation usually means artificial dye. Real saffron has a distinctive aroma, warm honey mixed with dry hay, and when steeped in warm water it releases a slow golden yellow color, never an instant red. Top origins: Iranian Khorasan, Spanish La Mancha DOP, Kashmiri or Greek. Purchase from reputable spice merchants or certified suppliers. Dosage: clinical trials for mood and inflammation typically use 28-30 milligrams of standardized extract per day, often labeled as containing 3.5% leptocrosalides or crocin. That's roughly equivalent to 15-25 good-quality threads steeped properly. Steep 15-25 threads in a few tablespoons of hot water for 10 minutes to release the actives, then add the liquid and threads to rice, soups, stews, or teas. Never fry dry threads in hot oil. High direct heat destroys many compounds. Take a standardized 30 milligram capsule or tablet daily with food. Look for third-party tested brands. Expect gradual effects. Most trials show noticeable mood and inflammation improvements after 2 to 6 weeks of consistent use. It's not an instant fix like some pharmaceuticals. At recommended doses, saffron has an excellent safety record. Doses above 5 grams can be toxic. Pregnant women should avoid supplemental doses due to historical reports of uterine stimulation. People with bipolar disorder should be cautious because of potential mood-elevating effects. It may interact with blood thinners and some antidepressants. Always check with a doctor if you're on medication. A typical month with saffron. Week 1. You enjoy the unique flavor, earthy, slightly bitter, floral. Week 2. Subtle improvements in sleep quality or calmer mornings. Week 3-4. Measurable mood lift, reduced irritability, possibly less joint stiffness or inflammatory discomfort. Cost: $15-30 per month. Compare that to your current pharmacy copay. Saffron isn't a miracle cure. It's not going to replace emergency psychiatric care or strong prescription anti-inflammatories in severe cases. But for mild to moderate conditions, the kind that affect everyday quality of life for millions, the evidence is compelling. Centuries of traditional use backed by modern randomized trials showing efficacy comparable to drugs, but with a much gentler side effect profile. The flower still grows in the same fields. The same 3 red threads are hand-harvested at dawn. The science sits in peer-reviewed journals right now. What was lost wasn't effectiveness. It was profitability. You can't build a multi-billion-dollar industry on something that grows in the dirt and can't be patented. If this resonated with you, think about adding high-quality saffron to your routine, in cooking, as a supplement, or both. Start small, source carefully, be consistent, and pay attention to how your body responds. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you found value here, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We cover forgotten knowledge, buried remedies, and things Big Pharma would rather you didn't know. Drop a comment. Have you ever tried real saffron? Did you notice any effects? Planning to add it to your life? Let me know below. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and never stop asking questions.